I have always wanted to create a video that explains the effect of light on jewel orchids. You've probably noticed by now that these plants range in color from light greens, dark greens, all the way to bright reds and deep reds, almost resembling purple. Just in my collection, I have examples of many of these colors. So without further ado, let's get started on why jewel orchids are the color that they are. A good place to start is by discussing where jewel orchids are found in the wild. Typically, they can be found under shaded canopies where they receive filtered light. However, this does not mean that they don't receive direct light. And because they have leaves that are sensitive to bright direct light, of course they would find a way to protect themselves in case of highlight exposure. One of the main ways they protect themselves is by developing these unique pigments that we see. Here is a pretty stark example of the differences in color between Dawsonia marmorata and Macotes pedala. The differences are caused by variation in the amounts of chlorophyll and anthocyanin. For example, the much darker Dawsonia has this deep red, which is from a pigment known as anthocyanin, which together with chlorophyll give the leaf this dark green to near red color that you see. Whereas this Macotes pedala is a bright green. This is due to it having lots of chlorophyll, a green pigment. Even when picturing the bright reds of Ludicea spiderman and the electric pinks of Ludicea discolor, the variation in jewel colors is nothing short of amazing. Focusing in on the venation of the Dawsonia, you can see that in spots the veins are this vibrant red color. This usually occurs in the absence of chlorophyll, which leaves the veins red due to high content of anthocyanin, or white due to lack of pigment. White venation may appear red though because the back of the leaves in some species like Ludicea and Dawsonia are red, so this color is able to be seen through in sufficient lighting. Digging a little deeper into why differing plant pigments exist, for all the biochemists out there, anthocyanins are flavonoid-derived compounds, and they act as photoprotection to photosynthetically important chlorophyll. Some of you plant keepers may have noticed that depending on how much light your plant gets, they may exhibit slightly differing coloration. For example, in plants that grow in high light, they have less overall chlorophyll, which results in a lighter green color that may even appear yellow. Plants that grow in the shade typically appear darker green due to higher chlorophyll accumulation. And just like chlorophyll, anthocyanins are also regulated by light. They are accumulated in highlight environments to prevent photoinhibition. They do this by shielding the chlorophyll-containing plant organelles. That way photodestruction or destruction of chlorophyll is minimized. Here is a picture that I drew of what the inside of the leaf would look like. You can see that the anthocyanin, which is represented by the purple color, is accumulating in the epidermal layer right above the green layer. This green layer is the mesophyll layer that contains chlorophyll. So basically, anthocyanin is acting as an umbrella or a sunshade to the chlorophyll. So where I'm going with all this is that different light qualities will affect pigmentation. For example, it's been shown that blue light most positively affects anthocyanin deposition, and UVB light showed a stronger effect than white light. Also, we know that when there is an excess of light present, anthocyanin will be deposited. So although you may have seen that jewel orchids are quite tolerable of low light conditions, in order to get the brightest and most vibrant colors, growing them under a higher light environment may give you the results you're looking for. But keep in mind that all plants do have a limit, so you don't want to give them too much light or you may actually damage the leaf. You want to make sure that you're within that threshold of light that they can tolerate. So a high light environment for a jewel orchid may be different than a high light environment for other plants. So just as a quick guideline, I keep all my jewel orchids in an east-facing window where they get a little bit of morning light, and then after that it's all just bright and direct light. So just as my final conclusion, light can be both a positive and negative factor in keeping these plants healthy, as well as keeping them looking vibrant in color. Too much light can cause bleaching or photodestruction, while inadequate light limits the production of energy from photosynthesis. So, moving forward, you need to find out the happy medium for you and your plants, which is always a balance between what your budget and living circumstances allows you to provide and the bare minimum that plants need.